So good afternoon, dear scholars. Today is the third lecture of the subject Essentials of Thesis Writing MP07. And as you can see the PPTs on your laptop or on your phones, this lecture is about taking notes, outlining and writing drafts. As you all know that yesterday's lecture was about effective reading techniques. What are the effective reading techniques when, as a doctoral scholar, you would be reading many books as a critical commentary on your subject area and research paper, how to do effective reading. And in that lecture, we studied about 3 ways of doing effective reading: skimming, scanning, and the SQ3R method. Now, a step forward, after we have learned about the effective reading techniques, today we would be focusing on making notes from the content which we have read. So today's lecture is taking notes, and it is part of the Unit 2 syllabus. Outlining, drawing a outlining of the content which will become our future research paper, a chapter of a thesis, or the entire thesis. As you can see the title is Mastering the Art of Organized Writing. It is a structured writing approach to improve comprehension. Now, to make the thing simple for you, what is comprehension? That is understandability for you yourself and for the reader of your research paper or thesis, your fellow scholars, as well as your evaluator, your examiner, and your supervisor. So when we are making notes and drawing the outlining, we are building organization and we are bringing about clarity in our content. Now let's move forward. Introduction to the writing process. This is, making the first writing draft, or prior to that, note making. Now, the first step of this is taking notes. Taking notes is a fundamental practice that helps in capturing the key points and ideas. This very process allows individuals to reference important information later. All the key points, the information which we have noted down, that can be referenced at a later stage, ensuring that all the vital and important concepts are not forgotten. Effective note-taking techniques, they improve the understanding and retention of material. Coming to the first step, that is outlining. Outlining is an essential step to organize the thoughts logically before the actual writing begins. This very process, it helps the writers to structure their ideas, creating a road map for their works. What is the meaning of structuring the ideas? First of all, gathering the important ideas and then bifurcating those ideas into your introduction, middle, and the conclusion. Let me tell it to you that a well-structured outline makes it very sure that all the relevant subtopics related to the main topic which you have taken are covered, improving the coherency and flow in the final piece. What is coherency? Cohesion or coherency is the movement, the transition between the various paragraphs in which there is free flow of ideas. The third step is drafting. What is drafting? Drafting is the phase when your ideas, they transform into a structured piece of writing. The note taking which you had done, after putting into practice effective reading techniques, now those notes, they take the shape of your first draft. This entire process involves putting thoughts into sentences and paragraphs, creating an initial version of the work. It is very crucial for writers to focus on the content. Content is your God. It is very important for you as a researcher, as a research paper writing, as a doctoral scholar writing your thesis, that you take the content which is suitable to the title under discussion, or the title on which, or the study area on which you are doing research. So content is the God. And there is always space for creativity without you being bothering about perfection. Try to include all the key points related to your study area, that is your content. And later on, you can structure that, you can work on your expressions, you can be creative about your expressions, you can have a spell check, you can have a grammar check, you can have a style check. But the first requirement is that you should try to include all the possible content which is related with your topic. Coming next, importance of taking notes. Why is note taking very important for effective learning and henceforth, preparing the first draft? Later on, which would be revision of drafts leading to your research paper or to your thesis chapter and the entire thesis. Note taking, it enhances active listening. When you are trying to take down the notes, you as a reader or as a listener, you become very focused and vigilant, and you actively engage with the material which is being read, presented, ensuring that your focus is on the key information rather than you passively absorbing it. You are very focused to register or to retain the key information, which includes the key concepts or the main concepts. Note taking also aids retention. That is, it helps in retention. Because when you write down important points, it significantly improves your ability to remember them later. The points register very clearly in your mind's eye. The physical act of writing helps you to encode the information in your memory. Now, note taking also organizes the thoughts, because note taking, it provides a structured way to organize your thoughts and ideas. It also allows you to categorize information. This is the information
Ma'am,
which is, yes, yeah,
please
please.
repeat. Yeah, retention. Please repeat.
Yeah, retention, the meaning of retention is that, whatever key concepts, ideas you are studying, that remain very clearly in your active memory. That is retention. It is very good. You can raise the questions in between. When we retain some information is that we remember that information very actively and we can reproduce that information. Are you able to understand now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
it's clear what is
Yes, ma'am.
retention. Retention is when whatever we have read, that stays with us, that becomes part of our active memory. That is your retention. And this is how the note making is going to help you. It aids retention, it helps in retaining important information, and it also improves your ability to remember that information at a later stage. Your thoughts also, they get organized. You are very clear, you categorize information. You are very clear, this is the information which is going to become the introductory part of my chapter. This is the information which I am going to include in the middle of my chapter, etc., etc. So when you are revisiting the concept or preparing for discussions, you have your thoughts organized because you have done note making or you have taken down the notes. Coming to the another importance of taking down notes is it improves critical thinking. What is critical thinking? Critical thinking is unbiased thinking, which is free from any prejudice. You have taken the pros and cons related to a particular topic, theme, idea. You have both sides of the story, and you are able to summarize and analyze that very information very objectively. That is critical thinking. Note taking, it promotes critical thinking because you have written down the key points from both sides of the story. It also encourages you to synthesize your ideas and draw connections between the various concepts, enhancing your overall understanding. So before I proceed further, I would like to make it clear to all the 125 plus scholars who have joined the lecture that today we are attending to Unit 2. As you all know, I'm revising it for you. Essentials of thesis writing, it is divided into 4 units. Unit 1, it gives us training on academic vocabulary, academic conventions, that is in the academic circles, what are the rules and regulations we are supposed to follow. And also the third part of Unit 1 is your effective reading techniques, which will help you get a knack of how should we read the research paper or the critical information so that we are able to note down the important key concepts. After that, when we come to Unit 2, and after what follows the effective reading technique is taking down the notes. When we have read 20 books, 15 research papers, we are supposed to take down notes from those critical commentary in the books as well as the research paper, because they become our key concept, and from those key concepts we are going to take down the notes. After we take down the notes, we try to convert our notes into our first draft. Now, all the scholars who are here, I would like you to give me a signal if you are clear with this much of content. Yes or no?
Yes.
Should I proceed
Yes,
further?
ma'am.
You are
Yes,
developing
Yes,
some
ma'am.
ideas. Yeah.
Yes,
Plus,
ma'am.
we are
Yes, ma'am. It's
recording.
clear.
Hey, ma'am.
Yeah. And plus we are recording these lectures for your, revisions. This is our third lecture in the series. First lecture, which was recorded yesterday at 12, right? 12 noon, that was discussing about your syllabus and also your Unit 1 academic vocabulary, how we are supposed to transform vague vocabulary into academic vocabulary. The second lecture was solely on the effective reading techniques. And today's third lecture is about note taking. What is the importance of note taking? What are the various methods of note taking? Yes, Kanika Lamba, you have some question?
Yes, ma'am. Can we get this notes of the unit 2 which you are teaching us?
See, we are sharing the entire this very recorded lecture in the group, as well as we would be sharing the PPT also. And when I give you the assignments, then you need to make use of this learning and attempt the assignments. Simultaneously, I would be giving you this entirely in the note form. So there are
Okay,
stages of
ma'am.
learning. Your first stage of learning is to listen in today's class and then attempt a re-listening through the recorded lecture. See to the PPT shared in the group. I think that is sufficient. Still, if you
Yes, ma'am.
want more information other than the recorded lecture and the PPT, we would be giving you the notes on each and every topic in the PDF format. I believe it is, you are happy to go with this, all of you.
Yes, ma'am. It's okay.
ठीक है, मैं दोबारा से आपको बता देती हूँ. सबसे पहले आप ये रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर को दोबारा सुनो, फिर वो शेयर्ड पीपीटी को देखो, और तीसरा, जब आपको अगर और भी जरूरत रहती है तो फिर हम ये इसको पीडीएफ फॉर्म में भी आपको नोट्स दे देंगे. बट पीपीटी में हमने बहुत ही ब्रीफली आपको नोट्स दिए हैं कि आपको you have the things in a very concise form. It is easy for you to remember. That third, that is the notes in the form of PDF, that comes at a very later stage. We would be doing and help you in learning in all the formats. So can we proceed further?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good, nice. So now we are coming to the third slide. The third slide, it talks about what are the common note-taking techniques. There are 3 techniques by which we can take down or make the notes. The first method is known as Cornell method. The Cornell method, it involves dividing your page where you are taking down notes into 3 distinct sections, into 3 separate sections. In the first section, you will take down the notes. In the second section, you will put up the cues or some symbols and signals. And in the third, those very notes would be converted into a brief summary. Now, this technique, it allows for efficient review and organization of the information, making it very easier for you to recall the key points. Recall, retain, remember the key points during the study sessions. So this is the first method, Cornell method, in which you divide the note-taking page into 3 sections: notes, cues, and summary. Next method of taking down notes is your outline method. It is again a structured format. When I say structured format or structured writing, the meaning is that structured format means it has a structure. It has a roadmap. In the structure, there is an introductory paragraph, there are middle paragraphs, there are conclusion. Your entire stuff has a structure. You can build up the structure, you can make the structure by using bullet points, and it is going to be a hierarchical organization of topics. When I say hierarchical organization of topics means you are going to note down the points in a hierarchy. What comes first, what comes second, what comes next, what comes last. So this approach is particularly useful for capturing the main ideas and the supporting details in a clear, organized manner. Let me make it very simple again for you. Whenever you write academic piece of writing on a particular topic, you are first going to give a topical sentence. That is the first sentence of your introduction, followed by your introduction to that topic. After the introduction, in coming 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs, depending upon the breadth of the topic, you are going to give supporting details in favor of your main ideas. Those supporting details will include some anecdotes. Anecdotes means some small little instances, stories. It will also include some data in the form of facts and figures. It can also include some, case studies, and thereby in the end you are going to conclude. So this is your outline method, which includes having a structure. And the third method is your mind mapping. What is mind mapping? It is a visual note taking technique. When I say visual note taking technique, that means there is a image representation of that. How can you make an image representation? When you make small diagrams, flow charts to represent your ideas. So this mind mapping method, it enhances creativity. It is a more dynamic representation of your information, and it makes it very easier for you to see the relationship between the different concepts which you have discussed. Now, again, before I proceed further, I would like to know if you have understood all the three techniques of your note taking, how they are different from each other, and what are the three techniques. Should I proceed further?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we move further to the next slide. After discussing the three common note taking techniques, we move further to another note taking technique, which is the charting method. Now, in this charting method, we can use tables, we can compare data. Now, this very method, charting method of note taking, is of suitability in subjects like history or science. Coming to the last method of note taking, which we are discussing today, is the sentence method. Now, this is a very straightforward technique which allows quick note taking, and it is very beneficial in the fast paced environment such as lecture. When somebody is giving a lecture, you try to note down in the form of sentences using certain abbreviations, symbols, etc. The lecture of that very whatever expert talk is given to you by the esteemed learned professor or the specialist in that particular study area. So that is known as the sentence method. Coming to choosing the right note taking technique. How should we choose the right note taking technique? Now, there are different note taking methods for different contexts, for different subjects, for different study areas, right? For the lectures, the Cornell method, that is dividing the page into three different distinct sections. The Cornell method is very effective in comparison to the structured approach. That is the outline method. Now, the outline method is generally better suited for reading materials. And as I've already discussed with you, the outline method is a hierarchical organization of information. That is, the information is noted down in the form of a hierarchy. That is, what information should come first, what second, what next, and what at the last. Subject suitability is also very important. What is your study area? What is your domain of research? So accordingly, you are going to make a choice of note making techniques like mind maps. They are particularly useful for creative subjects like languages. And charting method, it is ideal for data heavy topics, like it can be social sciences, it can be history, it can be sciences. Now, beyond all this, every person has a different learning style. So you should choose a note making technique which aligns or which matches with how you process information and how you can retain information. If you believe you can retain information by the Cornell method, you should make a choice of the Cornell method. If you believe outline method is more suited to my mindset, my style of learning, then you adopt the outline method. Are you able to understand? There are some learners who learn better when they have visual cues, diagrams, etc. So can we proceed further? Please have a glance on this, the
Yes.
choice of various methods of note taking depending on your subject and depending on your personal learning style. Are we good to go? Should we proceed further?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
Yes,
Good.
ma'am.
Yeah. So let's come forward. You can again listen it, and then the next class when we are having, you can have a discussion. Similarly, this PPT too would be shared with you. Now there are certain terms which we are defining. You got to have an idea what is outlining. Outlining is when you make a road map, when you structure your ideas. You know, you have so many ideas brimming regarding a subject because you have done a lot of reading of that subject. Now you're going to structure your ideas before you write them down, because then this only will bring clarity and direction. You will structure your ideas. Okay, this of my idea I'm going to discuss first. This of my idea I'm going to discuss it in conclusion. So that is outlining. When you structure your ideas, again, if you do it in a hierarchical manner, then it is going to be good for you. You would learn what is the idea you are going to discuss first. And as scholars, it is your duty to learn to pronounce the words properly and also to learn their spellings. Hierarchical, simple. I am not, using any British or American diction, Indian English pronunciation. Hierarchical. Similarly, learn the spellings also. What is hierarchy? What comes first? What comes next? What comes third? What comes last? Why should we use the outlines? Why should we structure our writing and draw an outline? Because utilizing outline makes it very sure that your ideas are logically organized. This makes your writing process very smooth and coherent. When I talk about coherency, that is how one idea is linked to another and how there is smooth transition of ideas. When you move from one idea to another, what are the transition words you are going to use? What is the knowledge layout you have done? So that when you jump from one idea to another, it looks very smooth and it doesn't look very, haphazard. There are various type of outlines. Topic outlines, sentence outlines. What are topic outlines? They are the very short phrases to list your main ideas, and this way you can, refer them very quickly and have an overview of the content. Topic outlines means when you have put up your ideas in phrases, that is a group of words. Whereas sentence outline means when you have used the complete sentences to elaborate your points, providing a more detailed framework for writing. So topic outline always suits the people who, love concise information, and they can easily transform that topic outline into sentence outline. Are you clear? Outlining is the bridge between your notes and the first draft. Again repeating, first learning vocabulary, second learning reading techniques, third, learning note making techniques. After note making, what is going to happen? May I ask this very simple question? After you have made the notes, what is going to happen in the process of your research paper writing or thesis writing? I would like to hear this answer. It is damn simple. Bolo. आपने एकेडमिक वोकैबुलरी सीख लिया, आपने रीडिंग टेक्निक सीख लिए, आपने नोट मेकिंग सीख लिया. अब इसके बाद आपका नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या होगा?
Ma'am, fast drafting.
We are going to draft.
यस, फर्स्ट ड्राफ्ट. ऐसे ही आपका सिलेबस है. एक बार बहुत सिंपल शब्दों में सीख लो. आपका सिलेबस चैप्टर यूनिट 1 आपका डिस्कस करता है कि एकेडमिक वोकैबुलरी सीखो. बिकॉज आप academicians हो. एकेडमिक वोकैबुलरी सीखो, रीडिंग टेक्निक सीखो. यूनिट 2 आपको बताता है नोट मेकिंग सीखो. नोट मेकिंग के बाद फर्स्ट ड्राफ्ट राइटिंग सीखो. फर्स्ट ड्राफ्ट राइटिंग के बाद एडिटिंग. आपका कंटेंट पूरा है, आपका ग्रामर वाइज इट इज गुड टू गो. सेंटेंस स्ट्रक्चर, ग्रामर, पंक्चुएशन प्लस फॉर्मेटिंग. Formatting मतलब as per the style sheet which is recommended for your subject. अगर आप लैंग्वेजेस के हो तो MLA 9th एडिशन यूज करोगे. अगर आप सोशल साइंसेस के हो APA स्टाइल शीट यूज करोगे. फॉर्मेटिंग स्टाइल शीट आपको ये बताती है आपको कितना फॉन्ट साइज रखना है, क्या फॉन्ट स्टाइल अडॉप्ट करना है, इन बिटवीन द लाइन स्पेसिंग कैसी है, मार्जिन्स कितने कितने डायमेंशन पे आपके होने हैं. अगर आपने कोई कंटेंट किसी का जस का तस उठाया एज इट इज, दैट इज द कोटेड कंटेंट, that should come in double inverted commas. And when you have quoted that content, you should cite the source in text citation. साइट करोगे सोर्स. सपोजेडली आपने मेरी बुक से कुछ लिया है तो आप लिखोगे वराच 107, मतलब वराच की बुक के पेज नंबर 107 से मैंने ये कंटेंट लिया है. अब वराच की कौन सी बुक है, ये पीछे जाके आपका वर्क साइटेड बताएगा कि वराच मंजिंदर पार्टीशन लिटरेचर पब्लिश्ड बाय दिस पब्लिशिंग हाउस, पब्लिश्ड इन विच ईयर. समझ गए आप? ये सारा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आप समझ गए हो?
Yes, ma'am.
मैं दोबारा से आपको रिपीट करती हूँ. फॉर्मेटिंग. फॉर्मेटिंग में जब आप कुछ भी किसी भी टॉपिक पे लिख रहे हो, सपोजेडली आप पार्टीशन लिटरेचर पे लिख रहे हो, सपोजेडली आप डिजिटल मार्केटिंग पे लिख रहे हो, तो आप सब कुछ यू विल नॉट बी राइटिंग इन योर ओन वर्ड्स. There is some content which you feel is powerful only when it is quoted as it is. So you are quoting from some theorist, some writers who have already written on the subject. So when you are exactly taking down that information in order to avoid plagiarism, in order to avoid intellectual theft, you are putting that content in double inverted commas, and after the content is complete, in the parenthesis you will mention the source. What is your source? The surname of the writer followed by the page number from which you have taken that definition or that content. Are we clear? Tell
Yes,
me
ma'am.
yes.
ma'am.
Okay, good. So we proceed further.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good, nice. Now, how can we create an effective outline? So when your lecture time gets over, you can leave. Yeah, you can leave the class, but we'll continue recording so that this recording reaches you fully. And during the time of revision or during our next class, we can take in your queries. Weber, are we good to go on this?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah, we'll continue the recording. If you want to join in your next class, you can join in your next class. You come back to this recorded lecture, learn about it. If there are any doubts, confusion, we would be clearing for you in our next online class. Are we all satisfied with this?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good,
Yes,
nice.
ma'am.
Now, what are the steps to create an effective outline? We would first identify the main topic. That is, what is the subject of our outline? The initial step, it sets the foundation for all the subsequent sections, and it makes it sure that our focus, it remains on a singular theme throughout the writing process. You know, we are not going to write about each and every information available under the sun. We are restricting, limiting ourselves to be to the topic under discussion. We are writing on a singular theme. For example, if we are making an outline of a research paper on the topic climate change and its impact, then our focus would be only this topic, climate change and its impact, and every sub-theme which is related to this very topic. After this, we break into key sections, the content which is available with us, key sections or subtopic. Now, this segmentation, this dividing the main topic into key sections, it involves organizing thoughts in a clear structure. For example, if we are discussing this topic, climate change, the various sections of it would include: first, what is climate change? What are the causes of climate change? What are the effects of climate change? And lastly, what are the mitigation strategies? What are the various ways in which we can handle, combat, control this climate change? When we are making a hierarchical structure, we can use bullet points or numbering. This format of note taking, it helps in readability. It makes the content clear to understand, and it also allows the readers to quickly grasp the main ideas. Numbering also can indicate the order of importance. What is the, what is numbered one is most important. Or if they are the various points, then the point of most importance becomes first. So these are all the steps to create an effective outline. Coming next, when we are creating an outline or when we are creating a hierarchical structure of ideas, we are going to make sure that there is a logical flow of ideas, a logical sequencing of ideas. So this will enhance the understanding of the topic. And our logical flows also help our readers and our audience to make the arguments, to understand the arguments in a more persuasive manner. For example, when we are discussing the causes before the effects, we make sure that the audience understand the background before understanding the effects. At the same time, it is advised to keep the first draft flexible. We can modify the first draft in the coming revisions. So outline, it is a living document, and it can be changed. We can adapt new insights or changes in the direction that we do not lose the coherency of it, right? Coming to writing the first draft. What are the essential steps for writing the first draft? First, the introduction, which includes the thesis statement to engage the readers right from the beginning. The introduction, it sets the tone and the purpose of your draft. What follows your introduction are the body paragraphs, which include detailed explanations and example. Now, each body paragraph is existing in its individuality, and it also has a topical sentence that is a beginning sentence, a middle, and a conclusion. After the introduction, few body paragraphs, we summarize the key ideas and provide a closure to our first draft, which becomes the conclusion of our first draft. Now, what is the focus till here? The focus, as I have told you already, content is the God. The focus is on content first. We need to prioritize generating ideas without worrying about grammar or style in the initial first draft. Because the grammar or the style, we can work on it at a later stage. And when we are working on the grammar and the style and the creativity, we can work on it also without any constraints. That is, without any limitations. After the first draft is ready, it needs to undergo multiple editings, multiple revisions. And whenever we are doing the revisions, we have to keep in consideration that there is clarity, coherency, and we are fixing the grammar, the style, and also we are getting it edited or making our fellow scholars to proofread. We can also take the help of some experts on that topic to proofread. We can ask or request our supervisor to proofread it. And also we can take aid of the digital tools like Ginger, Grammarly, Quillbot, etc., etc., to proofread our draft so that we are suggested the grammar mistakes, the syntactic mistakes, and also, there are certain other edits which we can undergo, right? So this was all about this lecture: taking notes, making outlining, drafting the first draft, and later on the revisions. So this was all about today's lecture of Unit 2, which included note making techniques, how to take down the note after we have done an elaborate reading, and how to convert our notes into the first draft, second draft, and our final draft, which is further open to multiple revisions, proofreading, manual, as well as digital. Remember, there is no replacement of manual editing, because digital editing is of some good, but it can sometimes be confusing. So thank you. Thank you so much. Please go through this recorded lecture. If you have any queries, we are open to discussing your queries and attending it in the next class, which happens on the coming Saturday. So thank you so much. Please go through it.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.